Hello everyone and welcome to the FIAP Distinctions presentations for Australia. Today we formally acknowledge the Australians who have gained their FIAP distinctions in 2024. This is the 5th year we have held this presentation event online in what has proven to be a highly successful format that enables us to gather from all parts of Australia and to be able to invite a FIAP official to join us from overseas to formally present our distinctions. This year, we had 34 Australian FIAP distinctions recipients. Whilst there are a number of distinctions recipients who sadly can't join us today due to travel and other commitments, it is wonderful to have a large number of you here. Upon the formation of the Australian Photographic Society 62 years ago, the role of Australia's operational member of FIAP was passed on to the APS by the Photographic Society of Queensland, who performed this role in the years prior to our national body being formed. Indeed, Australia has had an organisation act as an operational member of FIAP since FIAP's early years. This affiliation means APS members are considered to be individual members of FIAP. One of the APS tasks as part of our operational member status is the verification, initial administration and lodgement of Australian applications for FIAP distinctions. Australia has a large active group of photographers who enter international salons, and Australians are usually well represented in the awards list of these salons. This ultimately leads to a day like today, where we celebrate our Australian FIAP distinctions recipients. As mentioned, the use of technology offered by Zoom has enabled us to have a FIAP board member to be our official presenter at this event for the last 4 years. This year, it is a huge pleasure to have Ioannis Lykouris from Greece join us as our special guest. Ioannis is the General Secretary of FIAP, and he is joining us from his home in Greece. We are also joined by the following members of the APS Management Committee: APS President Greg McMillan, who's also handling the technical aspects of today's Zoom event, Senior Vice President Pia Jessen, our Junior Vice President Andrew Swinfield, our immediate past President Margaret O'Grady, and 2 other committee members, Jeffrey Venning and Fran McFadden. I would also like to acknowledge our verifying officer team. Some of them are present today. As with the lower applicant numbers this year, we've been able to invite all the VOs who verified applications this year. I wish to publicly thank all the VO team for their invaluable assistance to the applicants and myself. I'm aware that in many instances, this involves some mentoring of those planning to apply for FIAP distinctions. I will introduce our special guest Ioannis Lykouris to you properly in a minute, but I will first invite the President of the Australian Photographic Society, Greg McMillan, to formally welcome you. Greg, if you'd like to unmute yourself, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Bronwyn. And as Bronwyn said before, I'm playing the back end on the spotlighting. So if there's any issues around spotlighting, this is where you put your complaints, okay? But it seems to have worked reasonably well for the last 5 years. Look, I've kept Bronwyn on sharing screen. I'm ignoring her run sheet. I'm leaving Bronwyn here at the moment because Bronwyn's already acknowledged and very appropriately our keynote speaker, Ioannis from Greece, and identified the management committee who are on board, and also indicated a strong support for the VOs. So certainly re-emphasised that support for the verifying officers, and certainly APS took the opportunity earlier this year to recognise a number of verifying officers with some service awards. Some had already had the service award, others have perhaps quite not met the criteria yet in terms of duration, but verifying officers are very important to the whole process we have here, and we greatly appreciate their effort. But with Bronwyn, I just wanted to acknowledge Bronwyn's contribution to both the APS and to FIAP. You know, I think there's not a person around who wouldn't agree with me when I said that, you know, the whole FIAP process connection with APS works well because of Bronwyn, and it's both a measure of, I think, the value that Bronwyn brings to the table, that so many people consistently over the years have achieved the honours they've achieved through FIAP. So Bronwyn, I guess on behalf of everybody here and everyone who's not here, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much for your continued contribution. And if you ever decide to pull the pin on it, can you give us at least 4 or 5 years head start, because we'll need to get to train someone up to your standard, which I think is almost going to be impossible. You know, every now and then we have people in an organisation who just are standouts in terms of who they are and what they do, and I have no problems in saying that from my perspective, and I'm sure many people's perspective, Bronwyn, you're one of those. So thank you very much and greatly appreciated. Just on a I guess another note, I did want to take this perhaps last opportunity, because Bronwyn mentioned before, we've been doing this for 5 years, and 5 years ago I sort of was part of the management committee, and I've been playing that little bit of back-end technical bit as best I possibly can. But you know, there is a changing of the guard coming up, and all things being reasonably equal in terms of the way they work, Pia will be our future president. Look forward to Pia's contribution as president. Pia's contribution over the last several years as a member and as senior vice has been outstanding. But also want to pay respects to Margaret O'Grady. You know, Margaret was probably one of the 2 reasons why I joined the APS. Philippa Fredrickson was the other one. So they're early mentors of mine, I guess, in that sense. And Margaret finishes her 2-year stint as immediate past president coming up in September. And I think there's no doubt that with Pia coming on this side and Margaret sort of semi-retiring in that side, we recognise their contribution this year with on FAPS, honorary FAPS membership with APS, which is our highest service award. So again, just want to publicly acknowledge those 2 people and the contribution they make as well. On that basis, Bronwyn, I will step aside, hand back to you, and congratulations on behalf of the APS and the management committee to all those who received their awards this year. And I have to very genuinely say that the reason why I'm not here this year is I didn't need the distraction of my next honours level and playing the back end technical, but I have everything ready to go for next year. So I'll be giving a couple of the verifying officers that in the next week or 2. So I'll be back next year, perhaps simply as a participant, which would be lovely. Anyway, guys, thank you for your attendance, and all back to you, Bronwyn.
Thank you, Greg, both personally and on behalf of the group. Now I would like to give an especially warm welcome to Ioannis Lykouris. Ioannis is a member of the FIAP Board, on which he holds the position of General Secretary. He is also Director of FIAP's Data Protection Service. Ioannis developed an interest in photography when he was 12 years old and became the youngest member of the Hellenic Photographic Society in Greece. He has particular interest in portraiture and travel photography, and his works have been regularly published in travel magazines. Over the years, he has participated in many international and national competitions, gaining many awards and achieving his EFIAP Platinum. He is also a highly respected international judge. He has had his works shown in over 40 personal and group exhibitions in Greece and abroad. In 2009, he became a Master FIAP photographer, gaining his MFIAP. That's FIAP's highest distinction. Ioannis became the FIAP Liaison Officer for Greece in 1997, a role he has continued for the last 27 years, to the best of my knowledge. In 2010, he was elected to the FIAP Board, and a year later took on the role of Director of the Biennial Service. During this same year, he also became Vice President of the Hellenic Photographic Society. Just 1 year later, in 2012, he was elected to the position of General Secretary of FIAP, one of the most senior positions on the FIAP Board, a role he continues to this day. As mentioned earlier, he is also Director of the Data Protection Service. These are roles to which Ioannis is particularly well suited. Not only is he fluent in 4 languages, Greek, French, English, and German, the first 3 to professional working proficiency, but he is also a lawyer by profession, working in the field of civil and commercial law. Like the roles in official roles in APS, the roles in FIAP are undertaken in a voluntary capacity, and roles such as the one Ioannis does are busy ones. This is important to recognise that many people like Ioannis in such roles also have full-time employment and a family, so it involves a huge amount of dedication and commitment to also do these FIAP tasks. I recall Ioannis once telling me that he often commences his FIAP work around 10 p.m. at night, and I know from the times his emails arrive that he often burns the candle at both ends. It is not surprising that he was given the FIAP Service Distinction Excellence Service FIAP in 2007, and the higher Service Distinction Honorary EFIAP was subsequently conferred on him in 2012. I have personally appreciated Ioannis's support in my role producing FIAP News, FIAP's official magazine. Other than preparing articles and notices for the magazine, he did the hours of work liaising with the legal firm FIAP engaged to put together the regulations document for the magazine. Whilst FIAP must always formally engage external legal services for any legal matter, Ioannis's professional expertise makes him the perfect person to know what is needed and when. He is held in high regard by those that know him and is often the go-to person for answers to difficult questions. He is the voice of caution and logic when a difficult decision needs to be made. We've been very fortunate that Ioannis has been able to join us today, personally, to present this Australian FIAP distinctions. His presence makes these presentations extra special. Thank you for joining us today, Ioannis. I now invite you to give your greeting. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, dear Bronwyn, for this warm presentation. So professional and so personal and touching at the same time. Mr. President, honorable members of the Australian Photographic Society's Management Committee, verifying officers, dear Bronwyn, FIAP Liaison Officer in Australia, esteemed guests. I want to welcome you to this special presentation event. Tonight, we are gathered in a Zoom meeting to celebrate the remarkable achievements of the Australian photographers who have earned prestigious FIAP distinctions for their exceptional work. It's a true honor for me to be here in order to recognize the talent, dedication, and creativity that each recipient has demonstrated through their lens. These distinctions not only highlight individual excellence, but also the vibrant and diverse photographic community in Australia. Congratulations to all the distinguished recipients who captured moments that inspire, challenge, and move us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ioannis. Now, I'm just going to cover a few little sort of housekeeping matters so that people know how today will flow. Firstly, if you don't already have it on, please turn your video on. We have muted everyone. Please remain on mute during the presentations until your name is announced. The mute and unmute button is in the bottom left of your screen. Please mute yourself again after your distinction has been presented. For the best experience, you should now set your Zoom window to speak of you, although I think mostly what Greg has done will control that. We are recording the event and will be taking screen photos, so you should assume that you can be seen at all times. This video will be available after the event, from which you can take some screenshots of your own presentation yourself. The presentations will be grouped according to distinction level. There will be slideshows of the images the Australian FIAP distinctions recipients submitted to FIAP this year. After each slideshow, Ioannis will be announcing the names of the recipients who are here today. This will be done one person at a time. When he announces your name, please respond, remembering to unmute. We will be endeavouring to spotlight you on screen, but there may be a short delay whilst we locate you. You will need to unmute yourself by clicking the microphone, as I mentioned in the bottom left corner, and don't forget to hold your certificate and reply verbally. You're welcome to say a few words between yourself and the group and Ioannis. Don't get terribly lengthy, because obviously we've got a number of people to go through, but please do say something and have your special moment on screen. I will announce the names of the recipients who are absent. There will be times when you can hear me, but I will be off screen to stay in the background during your presentation. So please don't alter your settings if you can hear me but don't see me. At each distinction level throughout the presentations, the recipients who are present will be announced in alphabetical order according to their surname. At the end of the presentations, we will take a few screenshots of the whole group all holding their certificates. In other words, a group photo of our distinctions recipients. Following the presentations and photos, Ioannis will give a short talk about the FIAP congresses and FIAP photo meetings, and we'll answer any questions that you have. So now we will proceed with the formalities. In order to honour eminent personalities known in the field of photography, the International Federation of Photographic Art, known as FIAP, award distinctions. For photographic artists known for their artistic work in photographic or audiovisual artistry, and for those who by their work or achievements have contributed to the progress of FIAP or of photography in general, in other words, services rendered. Only achievements in international salons run with FIAP patronage can be counted for FIAP distinctions for FIAP photographic artist distinctions. National federations affiliated with FIAP, such as the Australian Photographic Society, can put forward candidates for these distinctions. The final decision whether or not a distinction is awarded rests with FIAP. This year, the Australian Photographic Society had 34 successful applications for FIAP distinctions for photographic artistry. Today, we acknowledge and celebrate their achievement. The distinction Artist FIAP, known as AFIAP, is the first artistic distinction that can be obtained. A successful candidate must have obtained at least 40 acceptances with 15 different photos in 15 salons in 8 different countries. I'll now show you, I will now screen share and show you a video of the works presented to FIAP by our AFIAP applicants.
Okay, so the first recipient of AFIAP is Sharon Baker. Sharon?
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was an honor to receive the distinction, and I am grateful for actually being recognized. Thank you.
The next one is Paul Balfe.
Thank you, Ioannis. It's a great honour to receive this distinction, and I hope I can continue on the FIAP pathway. I would like to thank Bronwyn Casey for all her help, and my verifying officer, Tina Dahl, for her mentorship. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next one, Matt Johnson.
Thank you. And I'd like to say thanks in particular to Bronwyn and to my verifying officer, Craig Parker, for their assistance with me achieving this honour. And thanks to both organisations, to FIAP and to APS, for their good work supporting us in our journeys.
Congratulations, Matt. Vicky Johnson.
Yes. Thanks very much, Ioannis.
Oh, got the wrong person on the screen.
Wrong person.
That's okay. Yeah, thanks, Ioannis. I'd also like to thank everyone at the APS, and also particularly Bronwyn. She does so much work, and my wonderful verifying officer, Tina, who, without those two, I wouldn't have got this far. So thank you.
Congratulations. David Merciker.
Thanks, Ioannis. I'd like to thank Bronwyn and Craig Parker too. It wasn't an easy thing to do the first time around, and thank you very much to the APS and to FIAP as well. Thanks.
Congratulations. Elizabeth Riley.
Thank you, Ioannis. I'd also like to thank my verifying officer, Margaret O'Grady, and of course, Bronwyn Casey, and great to put a face to you now, Bronwyn, for helping me through this. AFIAP is a manageable number of images, and to help you learn to navigate the system and get the paperwork right. So thank you, APS and FIAP.
Congratulations. Peter Rupas. Peter?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ioannis, and like everyone else, thank you to FIAP.
We cannot see you.
There we go.
Oh, okay. No.
Can you see me now? Yes, thank you, Ioannis, to FIAP and APS, and like everyone, I'd sincerely like to thank Bronwyn and my verifying officer, John Chapman, on these first steps within the FIAP honours path. Thank you.
Congratulations. And the last one for the AFIAP is Karen Springstad.
Thank you very much, Ioannis, for coming today to present our awards. I really appreciate it. It's been such a challenge and so satisfying to enter these national competitions arranged by FIAP. I'd like to also thank Bronwyn. She's so patient and so wonderful, giving us so much information. And of course, my own verifying officer, Martin Regan, thank you so much for helping me through the whole process and being so encouraging also. So thank you, FIAP and APS.
Congratulations, Karen. AFIAP is the first step, but it's something very important because it's the first time you have the experience of participating in FIAP competition, international competitions. But as I saw from the samples of your photos during the presentation, I can say that you are in the correct path, in the right path. Congratulations, and I'm sure that next year you will be already in the EFIAP distinction.
Speaking of EFIAP, the Distinction Excellence FIAP, EFIAP as it is known, is awarded to photographic artists who, apart from having excellent techniques, have significant numbers of their works often accepted in many international salons under FIAP patronage. A successful candidate must have obtained at least 250 acceptances with at least 50 different images in 30 salons in 20 different countries. At least 2 of their images must have gained an award. I'll now show you a video of the work of our EFIAP distinctions recipients.
So I would like to call now Sandipan Chowdhury. Sandipan?
I don't see Sandy on the list as having joined us, so he may not be here unless he's got a different name, but I can't see him on the list in terms of joined.
That's odd, because he spoke to me not all that long before this meeting. We even talked about how to pronounce his name. Obviously something's happened. Santan, if you're in the meeting, can you unmute yourself and speak up? No, looks like we don't have them. We'll have to move on.
Okay. So James ID.
Thanks
James
very much.
ID.
Ioannis. Thanks very much, Ioannis, for doing this for us. Also, thank you to Bronwyn for keeping us on track with all of this. It's a lot of work, and to Peter Calder, who is my verification officer. So thanks, guys.
Congratulations, James. David Monroe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd just like to thank you for taking the time to be at this presentation, Ioannis. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Bronwyn, like everybody else. She's just been marvellous at keeping us on track and making our applications successful. And my verifying officer, Jeffrey Venning, who has been exceptional. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Martin Riley.
Yes, thank you, Ioannis, for taking your time out to present today, and I apologise for being briefly late. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had a prior commitment, but yes, look, it's an honour. I actually saw some of the images from the other EFIAP holders, and I thought, well, maybe I don't belong in this category. Some amazing images. Congratulations to everyone. But again, I'd like to thank Bronwyn for her patience in making all our applications compliant, and the very popular Tina Dial, who's done a wonderful job for myself as well, and in supporting myself as a verifying officer. It's an honour. Thank you.
Congratulations. Philip Stevens.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hi. Thank you, Ioannis. Very much enjoyed the process of doing the FIAP honours, and I feel very honoured to receive this accreditation. It's, like I say, it's been a lot of fun, interesting in various competitions. I'll see how you go. So thank you for that. I also, like everyone else, appreciate Bronwyn's help, and also special mention to Martin Regan, our verifying officer. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Philip. Helen Varno.
Hello, thank you so much. Ioannis, welcome to our presentation, and thank you for taking the time to do this for us. It's such an honour, but really, even if you practice, you're sometimes lost for words. But it's been a wonderful opportunity to validate the photographs that I've been taking. I didn't realise that their passion and the joy that you get from photography. So thank you very, very much. And Bronwyn, also Pia hiding away there, really good mentors. Peter Calder, also my verifying officer, must be thanked. So thank you so much.
Congratulations to all of you. The EFIAP means that you are already very experienced in FIAP salons. And now you have two options, either to continue in participating in salons or to try for the MFIAP, which is a presentation, a portfolio. Many years ago, a former president of FIAP had told me that if we wanted to compare the three different levels of FIAP distinctions, AFIAP, EFIAP, and MFIAP, it would be something like finishing the college, finishing the university, and taking a thesis. I don't know if this is exact or not, but just to give you an idea. So we have also some more people, Bronwyn, I think they're absent.
Yes. We had a few people here who got their EFIAP who couldn't be present today. Ioannis has already announced one of them who we thought was going to be here. The other three are Rita England, Jeffrey Huey, and Peter John O'Brien. And now we'll move on to the EFIAP levels. EFIAP levels honour photographic artists who, after having received the EFIAP distinction, continue to actively participate in international salons under FIAP patronage and by doing so help to promote photography with their new artistic production. FIAP has instituted 7 additional EFIAP levels, and I will now show you the work of all the EFIAP levels from bronze to platinum. The diamonds will be done separately.
first one for FIAP Bronze is Michael Ioann.
Hello, Yanni. Thank you very much for this honor. I'd also like to thank FIAP and Bronwyn for all their hard work and support. Thank you very much.
If I can understand, there is a Greek origin behind, so συγχαρητήρια, Michail.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ, Yanni. Να είσαι καλά.
Next one, Martin Newland. Martin Newland.
Yes, thank you, Ioannis. And I'd like to thank my verifying officer, Jeffrey Benning, and also the hard work and patience that Bronwyn has put in. It's always good to know, it gives you a bit of confidence knowing if you can get an application through Bronwyn's scrutiny, then it's got a good chance of being accepted by FIAP. So I'd like to thank Bronwyn, Jeffrey, and you too, Ioannis.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next is Yao Zhu Shu. Yao Zhu Shu. Sorry.
Hi, Ioannis. Thank you for the presentation. And it's a great pleasure to receive this honor. And also, I would like to thank to Bronze for the ongoing support. Thanks all. Thank you.
Congratulations. Next is Andrew Schwinfeld.
Thanks for being with us tonight, Ioannis, all the way from Greece. Much appreciated. I'd like to also thank Bronwyn Casey for all the hard work she does in front and behind the scenes. And also my verifying officer, who I understand is not here tonight, but Anne Smallagans, she does all my verifying. And also to Greg and Pia, who are hiding behind the scenes at the moment. And the management committee, thanks to all for making this such a great night.
Congratulations. Jeffrey Venning.
Hello, Ioannis. Thank you for being here tonight with us. I'm thrilled to reach my FIAP B level, and yeah, thank you to all that help along the way, like the verifying officers and Bronwyn and other people in the background that has helped me or have helped me. So yeah, thanks again.
Congratulations. Then David Woodcock.
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Thanks, Ioannis. Special thanks to the VO, John Chapman, and of course to, not surprisingly, to Bronwyn as well.
And next to David, Jane Woodcock.
Thank you very much, Ioannis. It's great having you here. We appreciate it. Thank you also to Bronwyn for all the work. And we can have so much confidence putting our work in through Bronwyn, knowing that she will check it and reject anything that we've done wrong and make sure we get our everything correct for entering. And I'd also like to thank John Chapman, who does a great job as a verifying officer. So thank everybody involved.
And special congratulations to continue together, even in photography.
Two for the price of one.
We've got two husband and wife teams here today, actually. The Rileys are here too, but they're on separate screens. So the people who got their AFI bronze, they had to achieve 200 acceptances with 50 different photos in 5 countries. And they had to have at least 4 of their photographs receive awards. There was one person, unfortunately, who couldn't be here with us tonight. She's travelling, and that's Valerie Kleindienst. For our EFIAP Silver, they had to have 300 acceptances with 100 works in 10 countries. And they must also have a further 5 photos with awards in different countries. 2 people who gained their EFIAP Silver unfortunately can't be here tonight, but they are Gregory Chan and Kim Douglas. So for we will now move on for the EFIAP Gold, where 500 acceptances with 150 works in 15 countries is required. This must include a further 6 images with awards in different countries. Ioannis, I'll leave you to announce our gold recipient.
We have just one, Daniel De Miguero.
Okay. All right. I feel very honoured to receive this award. Thank you, Ioannis. I received my EFIAP Silver last year, and I didn't think I'd be here this year receiving the gold already, but entered a lot of salons and with new titles and got there by early this year, so I'm very pleased. I'd like to thank Bronwyn for all the hard work she does, and also my verifying officer, Denise North. Thank you.
So your next step now is the platinum.
That's right. Mightn't be next year though.
Next year. Okay.
And for the platinum level, which is next, we've got people who have had 700 acceptances with 250 works in different countries. This must have included a further 7 images with awards in different countries. Ioannis, if you'd like to announce the platinum people, please.
Yes. First of all is Wally Cannon.
Hi, Ioannis. Thank you for being here today. I want a special thank you to Bronwyn and all the verifying officers. Without the work you guys do, none of us would be here today. And everyone, I hope we all get together again next year as we continue on our journey through the next levels.
That's great. Shin Kai Chong.
Thank you very much. Thank you, FIAP. Thank you, APS.
Congratulations. And last but not least, Pia Jessen.
Sorry, I just had to find my unmute button. Well, thanks so much, Ioannis, for being here today. It's absolutely fabulous to see you. And one of the things I enjoyed really about today is looking at all of your absolutely freaking amazing photos. I just loved it once again. Some of them I recognized from competitions I've judged or seen in catalogs. So I just want to congratulate everybody here as well, because I just love your photos, and you know, they wouldn't be here if they weren't, you know, as good as they are. So thank you. And the verifiers, where would we be without them? So thank you to each and everyone for all of the work that you put in. It's one of those jobs where you're, you know, beavering away in the background and nobody sees you. So we really do appreciate, you know, all of that work you do. Bronwyn, you know, like this girl just doesn't stop, right? She's the one-stop error stop, or one-stop, yeah. Thank you very much, Bronwyn, for everything that you do. You make sure that we're all on track, wrap us over the knuckles when we need to be, and yeah, just keep us going. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pia.
Okay, we had another recipient of platinum that unfortunately couldn't be here this evening, and that's Philippa Alexander. She's had a prior commitment. Now we move on to the diamond levels. The 3 EFIAP diamond levels have only been offered since 2016 and are for achievements gained since the EFIAP platinum level was awarded. Only awards are counted. There were no Diamond 2 or Diamond 3 applicants this year. We did, however, have 2 Diamond 1 recipients. And we'll now take a look at the work of those 2 people.
So the EFIAP Diamond 1 is Kerry Boytel.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kerry's managed to join us from that boat somewhere up in the Northern Hemisphere.
Kerry's on a boat somewhere between Vancouver and Alaska and wasn't sure she'd be able to be here. So unfortunately, neither of our diamond recipients could be here tonight. Kerry Boytel's one of them, and Ian English is the other one. So that brings us to the conclusion of this portion of this event. Congratulations to all this year's recipients of FIAP distinctions. A full list of the FIAP distinctions for this year is in the honours roll on the APS website. Now we're going to take some group photos of everybody. So if all of you can make sure that you've got your certificates handy, assuming you've remembered to put them beside you, and that you have got good light on your faces. And we will take some group photos with everyone all together.
Right, sorry, I don't have the certificate at hand because I'm not at my own home.
That's fine. If you've got it, you've got it. If we haven't, we haven't. We'll go with what we've got.
All right.
So both P and I will take some shots. Ready, everybody? Big smiles. Take a few.
Bronwyn, if you like, because when you take a shot, you turn. I'll go that, and I'll take a couple of shots. So if you guys could all look forward.
Although we need you in the photo there, Greg.
Yeah, you had me on the other one. So let's
someone might have blinked in the other one.
Everyone smile, excited, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'll take one more just in case. I have to say, 30 of you look fantastic.
And I'm going to take one more, and Greg, you stay on screen.
I will.
I can set this up so I'm not looking to the side. You ready? Set. Excellent. Well done, everybody. Now I'm going to give the floor back to Ioannis, who is going to talk to us a little bit about the FIAP congresses and photo meetings. As you know, at the end of these events, I always ask our presenter to talk about something FIAP related. And obviously they're people who are very central to the events that FIAP do and the activities that FIAP do, which gives you the ideal opportunity to ask questions. At the end of what Ioannis has to say, feel free to ask a few questions if you wish to. Ioannis, the floor is yours again.
So before speaking about FIAP congresses and photo meetings, I would like to congratulate once more all the participants that had this distinction this year. And if I may have a suggestion, your photos were amazing, but unfortunately, Australian photography is unknown in Europe. So if I can have a suggestion, you have a very nice country, a wonderful country, very photogenic one. I recognized, of course, some kangaroos, but also the 12 Apostles, Alice Springs, Ayers Rock. So my idea would be, if you like, to have an exhibition or a digital projection of your works in Europe. In Athens, for example, it's very easy. We can organize this in the Athens FIAP Exhibition Center. And I think everyone will be very happy to see the Australian photography because, as I told you, it's unknown in Europe.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can work on. Hey, Bronwyn.
Yep, that sounds like a great idea, Ioannis. We'll talk about that in over email and see what we can come up with on that one. That would be great.
It's been recorded, so it's been stated, so it's known.
It's on the record.
Can't walk away from it, guys.
That's okay. That's good.
So,
Nor would we want to. Yep.
So FIAP have a number of exhibition centres around the world, which are basically galleries that also carry the banner of being a FIAP exhibition centre, and they have to hold a number of exhibitions each year, which are international in flavour, that carry FIAP auspices. And Ioannis is specifically talking about one such gallery, which is the one in Athens. So this is an exciting offer. So watch this space.
FIAP Exhibition Center shall are collaborating between themselves. So if we have an exhibition in Athens, then it's very easy to send it to forward it to another exhibition center. So it can make a big
a traveling show. Sounds like a plan. And
Yeah.
it just so happens the APS runs a competition called the Australian Cup, in which we have many, many beautiful Australian photos, and that's a walk-in for this sort of competition. So
yeah, it's a good
we'll definitely talk about that.
And if you could hold it, if we can hold it in April or May next year, I just happen to be in the country over there, so I could just.
Yeah, in Greece next
yeah, when was the best weather happening over there, Ioannis?
Yes. Okay, so let's speak now about the congresses and the photo meetings. As you know, in FIAP, we use three different terms for our meetings. We have congresses, we have General Assembly, and we have photo meetings. Prior to 2014, the FIAP Congress was convened biennially at various global locations for approximately 7 to 10 days, with 1.5 days allocated for administrative sessions. In these sessions, operational members, whether present or represented, reviewed and voted on reports from the President, the Secretary General, and the Director of Services. Additionally, the Treasurer presented a financial report for the current period and the proposed budget for the following year, which the operational members also voted on, along with setting the fees for the next year. The final agenda item in each administrative session was the election of the Board of Directors members, who serve 4-year terms. Elections are held, as you know, every 2 years to alternately appoint the chairperson, the president, a vice president, the treasurer, and 2 members. And the next time, another vice president, the secretary general, and 2 additional members. Since 2007, we have initiated photo meetings, events socially focused on photography held in the years between congresses. The key distinction is that during a photo meeting, there are no administrative sessions. It's a time to gather with friends and capture photos together. The photo meetings organized so far took place in Sicily, in Italy, in Crete, in Greece, in Indonesia, in Cuba, in China, in Morocco, in Oman, and in Asturias in Spain. But following the bylaws established in 2014, we are legally required to hold a General Assembly annually. In years when a Congress was not scheduled, we have convened during a photo meeting or as necessitated by the pandemic online. The forthcoming Congress is set to take place in India, where we will make, as usual, decisions to determine the places for the subsequent Congress and photo meeting. That means that the next place for the Congress and photo meeting is not decided by the Board of Directors, but directly from the by the operational members. A new event that has already started is the FIAP Photo Days. These events provide FIAP Life Card holders the chance to participate under preferential conditions. The inaugural FIAP Photo Days event is a body painting festival scheduled for September in Austria. We anticipate announcing additional FIAP Photo Days events worldwide, why not in Australia perhaps, ensuring broader participation opportunities. So that was a small idea, a small presentation about the difference of the photo meetings, the congresses, and the new idea of the FIAP Photo Days. So if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer.
I think we've got, so the next photo, so the photo meeting for next year, has that been finalised at this stage, or is that still to be determined?
Till now, we have just one candidate, it's China. They are going to present this candidacy during the Congress in India, and we are going to vote in favor or against it. It would be a good idea to have not just one, but 2 or many candidacies in order to be able to select. But even if we have only one, we are not obliged to vote for that if we don't want to vote for that. But in this case, there is a problem, of course, because we have to organize somewhere the next photo meeting. But for the moment, it's only one, China. But according to my experience, the photo meeting they had organized in 2015 in China, it will be a very good one.
And which city is it proposed for?
They have not yet concluded. Most probably it will be in Tianjin. Tianjin is a city between Beijing and Shanghai.
So after the Congress goes, there will obviously be a vote, as Ioannis says, at Congress to determine when the next photo meeting will be.
Exactly.
And it's an event to which any one of you can go. In fact, the only specific criteria is that you hold a FIAP card, and every one of you here does. So, because you have to have one for your distinctions. And it's basically a very large photo gathering with photographic activities being the sole focus of that event. So sometime keep an eye on our e-news towards the end of the year when the decision is made about what happens next year, and some of you might even be interested in going along to whichever location ultimately gets voted for.
And with China, aren't we now visa free to China? Aren't we sort of now preferred status to go to China? Yeah, a few people are nodding. I thought I'd read that right.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah. I haven't.
Which is good.
That. I was last in China in 2007, and obviously things have changed.
I had a friend who just came back, and another one who's planning to go, and they said, I mean, we've heard it's happening, but apparently it is enacted now. So yeah, let's go to China.
Why not? It's been there.
But first you have to come to India before China.
Oh, I thought India was closed.
You've got a few days left.
No, not yet. You have still some days. How many of you are going to be in China? In India.
So is anyone else going to India by any chance? That no one's let me know. I'm certainly going along with my husband.
I would love to. I've been several times and I'd go back tomorrow, but the timing is just not good. So unfortunately, but that's okay.
It's actually around the time of the Camel Festival, and I believe one of the activities they've organised is to get some of those people before the main event, so that we haven't got the crowd, the general crowds. It's just our crowd, our paparazzi of photographers, which it often does resemble that. And I believe we're visiting the Taj Mahal and a number of forts, and there's an optional tour afterwards, which can take you either into the sand dunes areas or into one of the tiger reserves. But you find that information is on both the FIAP website, and it's also in the FIAP area of the APS website. If you go into the general documents there, you'll find the Congress program and indeed the Congress registration form. But like we've said, if you're hoping to go, move fast, because there's only days left before they're going to close it off, because they've got a big roll up already. So,
the good thing with the FIAP events is that they are organized by photographers for photographers. That means that you can always travel around by yourself or with a travel agency. The difference is that during the FIAP events, it can be a congress or a photo meeting. We're always accompanied by models, for example. So it's different to visit Taj Mahal with a group of tourists and different to visit Taj Mahal with some models ready to be there in order to take pictures of them. So it's totally different thing.
this will be my second Congress. Pandemic got in the way of the other ones. So, my last one was South Africa, and that was a good event. So, and an opportunity to meet a lot of people around the world, and certainly people I've subsequently had to work with quite closely because of FIAP news. Certainly, I talk to Ioannis on a fairly regular basis, particularly around the time of FIAP news, much as this year I've taken a little bit of a break from it for family reasons. I'll be back on deck come the end of this year. Does anyone else have any other questions or things that they'd like to ask about? It doesn't even necessarily have to be about the Congress or photo meeting, much as that's the focus of our event today. No, I think it's pretty clear. I certainly put out a lot of information about these things. So if you read e-news, as you all should, anyone who's doing their FIAP distinctions and entering salons should be reading e-news. Because as you know, I put in a FIAP bulletin most months, not every month. Some of the quieter ones I take a break, but if there's something going on, I put it in e-news, and that keeps you up to date with any things that are going to be updated in relation to things like distinctions, much as there's no news on that front at this point, and indeed upcoming events, things like the FIAP Photo Days is being newly publicised, and when FIAP News comes out, and FIAP News is at proofreading stage. I've been up till 2 a.m. last night proofreading FIAP News, and because Ioannis has got a deadline for me, which is probably not quite realistic for me to achieve, but I'm going to try. That's because legally he's got a set of documents that must go out 3 months before those official meetings he talked about, and that date is as of the end of this month. So he has to put out the mail then. So we're either in this mail or we're in the next one. But FIAP News is always published on the FIAP website, regardless of when it gets sent by mail, and it's always put on our own website as well, again in the FIAP area. So that's again another thing you should be reading, apart from the fact that we usually have some really interesting things in it. It keeps you abreast of various information and, as I say, updates from various directors who might have something that's of interest for you.
I wonder if we've heard any, this time last year we were talking about different merged definitions for some of the categories between PSA and FIAP. Has there been anything new in the last month or so? Yeah, do you know, Ioannis?
The only difference is the travel section that now in FIAP is word in focus. Because travel section according to PSA was too limited.
Yes.
So we want a little more free. And there are still some discussions about the definition of nature photography, but for the moment there is nothing decided. So we remain to what we already.
Yeah. So they're stalled, have they? Their talks have stalled because it's been ongoing for quite some time, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not a good idea to change the definitions every month.
No, of course not. No.
So when I hear, you guys will hear. So
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think we've probably brought this event to an end now. It's always a pleasure to see all of you here. You know, a bit like you putting a face to me, I'm putting a face to you, the person on the other end of the email who I'm busy saying, hey, you've got to fix that up on your form, otherwise that won't go through. You need to swap over that photo. It's too similar to the other one that you sent me and for the previous applications. So it's a bit of a process each year that we go through. And as you all know, I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to things being done right.
That's why I'm starting my next level submission on Monday to the VOs. So
to be ready for next year. lovely to hear, Greg.
Well, it's there. It's just, you know, it just wasn't there in time for this year. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I did wonder where you got to.
Well, no, I actually got two VOs, an experienced VO and a mentor VO. So they've got plenty of time to work their way through that with the mentor as well. So I think that's fantastic.
That's good training ground for them. Without any pressure on.
No, well, I think it will help, and hopefully my database is as clean and tidy as it can be. But doesn't matter how many times you check these damn things, there's always something that gets through, isn't there? That you go, really? How did I miss that? You know?
I know.
That's okay.
We have so many checks. That's why we have the verifying officers.
No, did you notice that everybody nodded when you said that?
Well, I've got Tina Doll's doing my GMAPs at the moment. She's multitasking. She's participating here and doing that, sending me messages saying, "Hey, Greg, could you just confirm that this is correct?" And on one it was, and the other one I made an upload typo. You know when you upload and they take the file name as your title, it's fantastic because that's what I do. But if you have to type in the name, then that clunky finger thing and the clunky brain comes into gear. Yeah, Andy's nodding, because you know. Aussie look outwards and Aussie looking outwards, are not the same thing when you type it. But, you go, how did I miss that?
There's one thing I must butt in here.
Yeah,
there is one person I know of that picks up everything. Bronwyn.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are amazing, down to full stops in the wrong place. I mean, I'm very, very impressed. So good on you, Bronwyn.
One-stop error shop.
We've got to be very particular because FIAP user, as you know, use computer software to check the forms. So the smallest of differences will show up on a computer. They'll see it as a different title or put it in a different spot if you've got an extra space in the title and it sits, in one result, it sits in a different spot to another, and then you've suddenly got two titles for the same photo. So it's really important that we're pedantic, both particularly when you're entering salons. That's got to be right because that's what ends up on the FIAP database. And, regardless of what you put on the form, you've got to match the FIAP database. So yes, we all have to be very meticulous with these things. And generally speaking, everyone gets there at the end. Just some of you are probably tearing your hair out by the time you get there, but hey, look, it results.
Well, some of us have less hair left to tear out, so yeah, but that's okay. That's all good.
Yes,
that's where it all went.
Yeah.
My father blamed his baldness on 3 daughters. So.
Yeah, no, I'm a father of 3 daughters. My daughters occasionally let me think that I might have made a decision.
Yeah, but look, everyone's able to celebrate this outcome now today, which is great, and it's nice to do it together. And we get far more people to this event online. I mean, this was born out of necessity during COVID. As you know, we held our first one of these online events in 2020. And indeed, we weren't going to be having any more presentations event after 2020 because the nature of our convention was changing. But now we've got just so many of us here together, which it's about 3 times the number that used to attend the live events because distance-wise, we're so spread out.
Karen, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, hi Bronwyn, hi Yanni. I just wanted to ask, I really love this this way of coming together. Do other nations also do a Zoom presentation for FIAP, Yanni? Do you know of lots of other countries that do this sort of thing? Because it's really a positive experience.
Especially during the COVID, we had a lot of Zoom presentations because of the pandemic, of course. Now we have some Zoom presentations. It depends from country to country, but what is very important is the FIAP Photo Academy. These are presentations organized by FIAP itself, and they are open to everyone. And we are inviting very famous photographers from all over the world in order to present their works and their technique also. So it's very important for some people to follow these lectures. And usually we try to do this in timing, in sometimes that it's easy for everyone to attend, because we have people from Argentina, from Europe, from Australia, so the time difference is huge sometimes. But you can see these even in FIAP News. I think they are announced, or in the FIAP website, and you can attend these presentations. Are very important.
A number of those are the time, as Ioannis mentioned, they're held at different times, and often that's determined a little bit by the presenter themselves. And we're talking about something a little bit different to what you were talking about, Karen. So in answer to your question, yes, there are some other countries doing that. I know that Ireland followed our example and had a look at our very first event to run something similar for their distinctions recipients. And I would imagine there were some others as well, because I know that Ricardo wanted us to publicise it a bit to give people the idea that they could do it this way. The presentations that Ioannis is talking about are lecture type events, as in presenters showing some amazing works, and these are really top tier people. Some of these events are run at a time that is conducive for Australians to attend. Some of them are at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's not always, I mean, if you're keen, you could absolutely still register and still get up and still smile, yes, even though it's 3 a.m. and be there. The other option is that a lot of them are recorded, and you can actually watch the...
All of them are recorded.
Every so often they're not allowed to record the event, but most of them are recorded, and you can watch them via the FIAP website. And those events, if you want some inspiration, they're well worth watching. I'm just trying to think how many verifying officers we've got here. We've got Tina here. And yeah, I can see Brian. Give us a wave, Brian. And Tina's doing the incognito thing with just her name on the screen.
Tina's multitasking. She just sent me an email back saying, confirming something that I said for, so you know.
Just leave your hands up. Put your hands up and leave them up. One.
Yeah, saw Graham down there before. Yep.
There we go. We've got a...
4.
There's a whole group of our verifying officers.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Now we can see.
Yep.
Arms up. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
one of those people, just for anyone who's interested, did many of you enter the VIGEX International Print Salon this year? Yeah, a number of you did. Yeah, well, the VIGEX president is on our screen. That's Brian Cohen.
Mm.
He's here as well. Give us a wave, Brian. And that event went very well. I was mentioning beforehand, they had close to 1,900 prints entered, which is fabulous when you consider that you know, there's a little bit of a slide on some of the print salons, but VIGEX has rebounded in a magnificent way. And the beauty of VIGEX, of course, is it's in Australia, and we don't have quite the same issues with postal service here that some of the salons overseas are experiencing, where every parcel that's not just documents is getting stopped in the customs departments. And that's become a bit of quite a problem.
If I could add something there, Bronwyn, just a special thanks to you for your involvement with our opening day at VIGEX, because VIGEX was very pleased to receive the plaquette for 20 print salons, and Bronwyn came down to make that presentation to us, but also gave us a fairly comprehensive rundown on a lot of the background of FIAP and how it started up. So thank you very much for that. That told us a lot of things we didn't know. So very good. Excellent.
Well, wow, Brian. Did you say 20 print salons?
Yes, 20 print salons. We started off in 1980. That was the first one. No, actually the first FIAP one was 1982. You have to do one outside of FIAP when you start. And we only do one every second year with prints. But now we have an EDI one between the print exhibitions. So we flip-flop between prints and EDIs. But we are very pleased to see we are continuing to get support for prints in this day and age when prints are becoming less popular because they're just a lot more work. So, yeah, we really appreciate the number that we're getting still.
That's fabulous. And how long have you been running it?
Oh, since 2015.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a replacement.
Yeah, you are, or you're not?
No, you're not.
I wouldn't mind a replacement.
No, okay, Brian.
Martin's got his hand up, so I don't know whether, Martin, you got your hand up to offer being a replacement or you have another question.
Yeah.
Martin. Lost him. Oh, there he is. No, Martin wants to be the national director, don't you? The national director.
I'm running Southern Shire National at the moment. So
Yeah. Okay, well, we've got another Martin here too. Let's just bounce that one on then.
Is Vajik
I believe there's an opening.
Brian, is Vajik still on the walls, or is it down and finished now?
No, they're finished now. Yes, we ran it for 2 weeks. That was all we could get as a window in that particular gallery, and that suits us too. So, you know, comfortable time. Anyone who wanted to come down should have been able to get, or most people should have been able to get down in the time. Yeah, we are very pleased with the gallery as well. It's a new gallery that we've used, and a very good gallery. It's a community-run gallery with a lot of support from their local council. So we found that to be very refreshing, and they got in there and helped us physically with being present on the opening day and looked after the food and the drink, and did the clean up afterwards, did the washing up, and then we thought, gee, what's going on here? But anyway, we were very pleased. I think we'll be going back.
Nice.
Okay, well, I think we bring today to a close. I'm going to again congratulate everybody, not just those here, and to also thank all those who've contributed in one way or another to the distinctions process throughout this year and indeed other years. And also again to thank Ioannis for being here with us today. It's always a pleasure to have one of the FIAP board members. I think it makes FIAP feel a little bit more real when we've got one of you in the room. So because most of you are a fair distance away when we talk about where you are on the globe compared to all of us. But we are all part of the FIAP family, and it's important that we get together with events like this. And yes, as Ioannis has mentioned, you know, keep an eye out for the FIAP Photo Academy events, because they run regularly throughout the year, except through the summer period, the European summer that is. And they're publicised in FIAP News, and they're also publicised in the FIAP Photo Academy pages on the website, the FIAP website. So, and there again, it's usually a massive gathering of people who all have a chatter before the event starts, very briefly, and then yeah, that's well worth being part of too. But thank you once again, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll say farewell, and I hope to see most of you again next year for your next level.
Look forward to it, Bronwyn.
Thanks, Bronwyn. Thanks, Ioannis.
I would like to thank you once more for this invitation, for this kind invitation. It was a great honor and special pleasure for me. Most of all because I met new friends, new photographers, great photographers. And as I told you, I was amazed by the quality of your pictures. Congratulations once more, and go on. Continue to the next levels, to the next FIAP distinctions, and try to make Australia proud of your pictures.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Ioannis.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ioannis.
Farewell, everybody.
Farewell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bronwyn.